The spaceport bar was noisy and crowded, full of travelers from many different planets. The air smelled of spices, metal, and something faintly sweet. Jack sat at the far end of the bar, tired after a long day of trading. He took a slow sip from his drink and looked around. In this part of the galaxy, life was never simple. People from many worlds passed through, some friendly, some not. Jax knew how to keep himself safe. He stayed quiet and watched. His sharp eyes caught every movement, every whisper. Near the entrance, a figure stumbled in. The alien was clearly drunk. His skin was pale green and his large eyes blinked unevenly. He wore tattered clothes, and his hands shook as he tried to hold a small bag. Jax frowned. Drunks often caused trouble, and trouble could mean danger. But something about this alien made Jax curious. The drunk alien looked around desperately, then spotted Jax. He moved closer, almost falling over. "Hey," the alien slurred. You want a drink? I got something better." He waved the small bag. Something rare, something special. Jax raised an eyebrow. "What's in the bag?" The alien laughed, a low, shaky sound. "Two girls, alien girls, from a rare species. Beautiful and smart. They need help. I can't keep them. They're yours. One drink for both." Jax blinked. "Wait, what? You're giving away two aliens for a drink?" The alien nodded almost proudly. "That's right. One drink. Take them. Save them. Please." Jax was suspicious. Who would just give away two alien girls like that? And why? The bar was full of people, but no one was paying attention to the strange offer. Jax decided to look inside the bag. Carefully, he opened it. Inside were two strange figures wrapped loosely in cloth. They looked tired but calm. Their skin was smooth and light blue with soft glows under their skin. Their eyes were large and bright, curious but cautious. Jax had never seen aliens like them before. "Who are they?" he asked the drunk alien. "They're called the Valari. Almost extinct now. Their homeworld was destroyed. They have special gifts. You should keep them safe. They're worth more than any treasure in this galaxy." Jax felt a strange pull. These two weren't just anyone. They seemed important. But could he trust this drunk alien? The alien's eyes suddenly grew serious. "Please, I can't keep them. If I don't find someone now, they'll be lost, and the others hunting them will find them." Jax looked at the two girls. One slowly opened her eyes and looked around. She had long silver hair, and her face was calm but tired. The other stayed still, but Jax could see her soft blue skin shimmer in the dim light. "Why don't they speak?" Jax asked. The alien shrugged. "Trauma. They've been through much. They need time." Jax thought for a moment. He was a trader, but he had never done something like this before. Helping strangers could be dangerous, but sometimes danger brought opportunity. He nodded slowly. "One drink for both. You keep your word." The alien smiled weakly. "Thank you. You won't regret it." Jax called the bartender and ordered a simple drink. He handed it to the alien, who took it with shaking hands and drank it quickly. "Good," the alien said, standing unsteadily. "You're a good man. Take care of them." Before Jax could say more, the alien turned and disappeared into the crowd. Jax closed the bag carefully. The two girls looked at him, their eyes full of questions and hope. He felt a new responsibility settle on his shoulders. "All right," Jax said softly. "Let's get you out of here." He found a quiet corner and gently helped the girls sit up. The silver-haired one looked at him with a small, tired smile. "Thank you," she said in a soft voice. Jax nodded. "I don't know who you are or what you've been through, but I'll help you." The other girl, with glowing skin, finally spoke. "We need to hide. They will come looking." Jax's heart raced. "Who will come?" "They are dangerous," she said. "Those who want to capture us for power." Jax realized this was bigger than he thought. He wasn't just helping two lost travelers. He had stepped into something much larger, something that could change his life forever. The bar's noise faded in his ears as he made a decision. He would protect these two girls. He didn't know how, but he would try. For now, they needed to leave the crowded spaceport. Jack stood up, holding the bag carefully. The girls followed him silently, trusting him in a way no one had before. Outside, the stars shone bright above the busy city. Jax took a deep breath and looked at the two aliens by his side. This was the beginning of a new journey, one full of danger, mystery, and maybe even hope. Jax led the two alien girls away from the crowded spaceport bar and into the maze of narrow streets outside. The air was cooler here, and the noise of the city faded to a distant hum. He kept a careful watch over their surroundings, knowing that danger might be closer than they thought. The silver-haired girl walked slowly beside him, still looking tired but alert. The other girl, whose skin shimmered faintly under the streetlights, stayed quiet, watching every shadow. Jax felt a strange mixture of excitement and worry. He was a trader, used to dealing with goods and credits, not strange aliens with mysterious pasts. But something about Lyra and Vela, their names he had learned, made him want to help. "Where do we go now?" Lyra asked softly, her voice gentle but tired. Jax thought for a moment. "I know a safe place nearby. An old friend runs a small warehouse. It's hidden and quiet. We can stay there for a while." Lyra nodded and looked at Vela. Vela gave a small, almost invisible sign of agreement. As they moved through the twisting streets, Jax noticed how different the two girls were. Lyra seemed calm, but her eyes held a sadness. Vela was more alert, almost like a soldier ready for anything. When they reached the warehouse, Jax's friend Mika was waiting. Mika was a tall man with sharp eyes and a quick smile. He greeted Jax warmly but paused when he saw the two aliens. "Who are your friends?" Mika asked, curious. Jax smiled. "Let me explain later. Right now, we need a safe place." Mika nodded and opened the heavy door. Inside, the warehouse was empty except for a few crates and some old equipment. It was the perfect hiding spot. Jax helped Lyra and Vela settle down. They looked around, clearly relieved to be somewhere safe. "Thank you," Lyra said again, her voice stronger now. Jax sat down across from them. "You two are different from anyone I've met. Tell me about yourselves. Why are you here?" Lyra looked at Vela, who nodded slightly. Then Lyra took a deep breath and began. "We are Valari," she said. "Our people lived on a planet called Valara. It was peaceful and full of life. But then war came. Our world was destroyed." Jax listened carefully. He had heard stories of lost planets before, but this felt real, close. "We escaped," Vela added, her voice firm, "but many of our people were captured or killed. We are among the last." Jax felt a pang of sadness. "Why did the war happen?" Lyra's eyes grew distant. "A powerful group wanted our planet's special energy. They used weapons no one should have. They wanted to control the galaxy." Jax frowned. "That sounds dangerous. Are they still after you?" Vela nodded sharply. "Yes. They want to capture us and the knowledge we carry." Jax realized now why the drunk alien had been so desperate to give them away. Their lives were at risk. Lyra looked at Jax with hope. "You saved us. Will you help us?" Jax thought of the dangers but also of the strength these two showed. "I will, but you need to tell me everything. I can't protect you if I don't understand the risks." The girls agreed. Over the next few hours, they shared what they could. Their people had unique gifts, like sensing energy, healing, and understanding technology in ways others could not. These abilities made them valuable and dangerous targets. Jax was fascinated. He had never believed in miracles or magic, but these girls were different. Their powers were real and powerful. As night fell, Jax stood by the window looking out at the glowing city. His mind raced with questions and plans. He knew this was only the beginning. Suddenly, the warehouse door creaked open. Jax turned quickly, heart pounding. Mika stepped inside, face serious. "We have visitors. Someone's asking about you, about the girls." Jax's stomach tightened. "We need to move now." Lyra and Vela stood, ready but calm. Together the three prepared to leave the warehouse. Jax grabbed a small pack with essentials and Mika led them through a secret exit at the back. Outside, the city was dark and quiet, but the danger was real. As they disappeared into the night, Jax felt a new purpose growing inside him. He was no longer just a trader. He was a protector, a friend, and maybe something more. With Lyra and Vela by his side, he would face whatever came next. The night air was cool as Jax, Lyra, and Vela moved quickly through the back alleys of the city. Mika had led them away from the warehouse through a secret path only a few knew. Even so, Jax couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were watching them. The two girls walked close to him, alert but quiet. Their glowing skin softly lit the dark streets as they moved. "We can't stay here long," Mika whispered. "They'll find you if you linger." Jax nodded, his mind racing. "Do you know who's after them?" Mika's face grew serious. "There's a group called the Shadow Syndicate. They're dangerous and well-connected. They want the Volari girls because of the secrets they carry." Lyra's eyes darkened. "They won't stop until they have us." Jax tightened his grip on the small pack he carried. "Then we need to stay ahead of them." They reached a run-down shuttle station on the edge of the city. Mika showed them a small ship hidden behind crates. "This will take you to the next planet," he said. "Far from here, but it's not safe anywhere for long." Jax helped the girls aboard. Lyra looked out the window, a mix of fear and hope in her eyes. Vela sat silently, watching the shadows outside. Jax started the engines. The ship hummed to life, and soon they were rising into the starry sky. As they flew away, Jax thought about what Mika had said. The Shadow Syndicate was more than just a group of criminals. They had power and reach. If they wanted Lyra and Vela, Jax knew the girls were in real danger. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped urgently. "Something's coming," Jax said, checking the instruments. Vela stood and moved to a control panel. "They are tracking us." Jax's heart pounded. "Can you shake them off?" Vela nodded. "I will try." She touched the controls with confidence. The ship darted through the stars, making sharp turns and sudden moves. Jax held on tightly as the small ship weaved through asteroids and debris. Behind them, the sensors showed a fast ship closing in. "They're persistent," Jax said. "We can't outrun them forever." Lyra stepped forward. "We must use the Volari power." Jax looked at her. "What can you do?" Lyra closed her eyes and held out her hands. A soft blue light grew around her fingertips. The ship's engines seemed to glow brighter. Vela joined her and the light spread, surrounding the ship in a protective shield. The pursuing ship fired, but its shots bounced off the glowing barrier. Jax's eyes widened. "You saved us." Lyra smiled weakly. "It takes strength, but we must be careful. This won't last long." The shield flickered, then held steady as they pushed further away. After a tense hour, the enemy ship finally broke off the chase. Jax exhaled deeply. That was too close. Vela looked tired but determined. "They will come again." Jax knew she was right. This was only the start. They landed on a quiet planet called Eldara, known for its forests and hidden villages. Jax hoped it would be safer. As they stepped out, the fresh air filled their lungs. For a moment, they could forget the danger, but Jax kept his eyes sharp. Lyra looked around. "We need to find allies." Jax nodded. "I know someone here. Old friends who owe me favors." They made their way to a small village hidden among tall trees. The villagers were wary but welcomed them once Jax explained their story. That night, around a fire, Jax and the girls talked with the village leader, a wise woman named Arya. Arya listened carefully. "The Shadow Syndicate has grown strong. They've reached even here. You must be careful." Lyra looked at Arya. "We have no choice but to fight." Vela agreed. "If we hide, they will find us. We must protect what remains of our people." Jax felt a new respect for the girls. They were brave, ready to face danger head-on. Arya smiled gently. Then you have friends here. For the first time since the journey began, Jax felt hope. He looked at Lyra and Vela, standing side by side in the firelight. They were more than just companions. They were his allies, his new family. As the night grew deep, Jax knew the road ahead would be hard. The Shadow Syndicate was powerful, and their enemies were many. But with these two remarkable aliens by his side, he was ready to face whatever came next. Together, they would fight. The sun rose over the green forests of Eldara, casting warm light on the village. Jax, Lyra, and Vela gathered their few belongings, knowing they could not stay long. The Shadow Syndicate was too close, and the danger was growing. Arya, the village leader, handed Jax a small data chip. This contains information about a place where you might find help. A group called the Starbound. They oppose the Syndicate. But be careful. The galaxy is full of secrets and dangers. Jax nodded, pocketing the chip. Thank you, Arya. We'll be cautious. Lyra and Vela looked determined. Their time hiding was over. It was time to fight and find allies. Jax piloted the small shuttle they had landed on, setting a course for the coordinates on the chip. The girls sat beside him, silent, but alert. As they jumped into faster-than-light travel, Jax thought about how much had changed. From a simple trader, he was now a protector of two rare aliens, carrying secrets that could shake the galaxy. The journey through space was long, but peaceful at first. Stars flashed past the viewport as the ship sped toward the unknown. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped sharply. Incoming ship, Jax said, checking the readout. Vela's eyes narrowed. The Syndicate has found us again. Jax didn't panic. We need to lose them before they get too close. He pushed the shuttle to its limits, weaving through asteroid fields and narrow space lanes. The pursuing ship followed closely, firing, warning shots that rattled the shuttle's hull. Lyra concentrated, extending her hands. The blue glow from her skin grew brighter, surrounding the shuttle with a protective shield once more. Keep us safe, Jax urged, gripping the controls. The shield held, absorbing the blasts as the shuttle dodged and weaved. Maybe we can lose them if we head toward the nearby nebula, Jax suggested. Vela nodded. Good idea. The Syndicate's sensors may not work well there. The shuttle entered the swirling clouds of the nebula. Visibility dropped, and the colors of gas and light danced outside the windows. The enemy ship slowed, scanning carefully, but the nebula's interference was too strong. After tense minutes, the pursuer gave up and turned away. Jax sighed in relief. That was too close. Lyra smiled faintly. We are lucky. Vela looked serious. Luck will not protect us forever. Jax agreed silently. They needed allies fast. As the nebula cleared, a small fleet appeared on the horizon, a collection of ships of different shapes and sizes, flying under a flag unknown to Jax. That must be the Starbound, Jax said, excitement rising. He contacted them with a secure signal. A calm voice answered. This is Commander Rena. Identify yourself. Jax explained their situation briefly. After a pause, Rena responded. We've heard of the Volari. You're welcome to join us, but trust is earned here. Jax and the girls landed on the largest ship, a sleek cruiser with bright lights and busy corridors. Inside, Jax felt a mixture of hope and caution. The Starbound was known for fighting against the Shadow Syndicate, but they were also careful about who they trusted. Commander Rena met them personally. She was a tall woman with sharp eyes and a steady voice. You carry a heavy burden, Rena said, looking at Lyra and Vela. The Syndicate's reach is wide, and they will stop at nothing. Lyra nodded. We want to help stop them. Vela added. Our people's secrets must be protected. Rena smiled slightly. Then you have allies. But first you must prove your loyalty. Jax understood. They would have to show their worth. Over the next days, the Starbound tested Lyra's and Vela's abilities and Jax's skills. They worked together on training exercises, sharing stories, and preparing for what might come. Jax learned that the eye Starbound had helped many people escape the Syndicate's grip. They were a group made up of outcasts, rebels, and heroes from across the galaxy. Lyra and Vela grew stronger, using their powers to help the crew. Their confidence returned, and the fear they carried began to fade. One evening, Jack stood on the observation deck with Lyra and Vela. Stars twinkled in the dark sky, and the cruiser hummed quietly around them. "Thank you," Lyra said softly, "for saving us, for believing in us." Jack smiled. "We're a team now. I'll always have your back." Vela looked out at the stars. "The fight is just beginning." Jax nodded. He felt ready for whatever lay ahead. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. "Incoming message from the Syndicate," a crew member announced. Jax's heart pounded as the screen lit up with a cold, threatening face. "This is Commander Voss of the Shadow Syndicate," the man said. "Give us the Valari girls or face the consequences." Lyra stepped forward, her eyes glowing bright. "We will never surrender." Jax clenched his fists. The battle lines were drawn. With new friends, new hope, and the courage of two remarkable alien girls, Jax prepared to stand against the darkness. The chase was far from over. The threat from the Shadow Syndicate lingered, in the air like a dark cloud. Commander Voss's message had made one thing clear: surrender was not an option. Jax, Lyra, and Vela knew their journey was growing more dangerous, but they also knew that the secrets the Valari carried could change the fate of many worlds. In the quiet of the starbound cruiser's command room, Lyra and Vela sat with Jax and Commander Rena. The room was filled with soft lights and the quiet hum of the ship's engines. Lyra took a deep breath. "There is something you need to know, something we have kept hidden." Jax leaned forward, his eyes fixed on her. "Tell me." Vela nodded. "Our people's knowledge is not just about our abilities, it's about an ancient power connected to the galaxy itself." Lyra's voice was steady. "Long ago, the Valari lived in harmony with this power. It was a source of energy that kept balance across many planets. But the Syndicate wants to control it. They believe if they capture us and unlock our secrets, they can become unstoppable." Commander Rena's expression hardened. "If they gain that power, it could mean the end of freedom for many." Jax's mind raced. He had seen some of the Valari's abilities, but this was more than he had imagined. "Where is this power?" Jax asked. Lyra and Vela exchanged a look. "It is hidden on a planet called Elindra. It is a place protected by ancient forces almost impossible to reach." Vela continued, "Our people have kept the knowledge alive through generations, but we are the last ones who can guide others there." Jax felt the weight of their words. Protecting the Valari was not just about saving two lives. It was about guarding a power that could shape the future of the galaxy. Commander Rena nodded slowly. "We must keep this secret safe. If the Syndicate finds Elindra, they will destroy everything." Jax stood up, determination clear in his eyes. "Then we need to get there first." Lyra smiled faintly. "It won't be easy. The path to Elindra is filled with dangers, traps set long ago to protect the power." Vela added, "We will need help. The starbound crew is strong, but we must be careful who we trust." Over the next days, the group prepared for their journey to Elindra. The starbound cruiser was equipped with maps and tools, but much of the knowledge came from Lyra and Vela's memories and stories. Jack spent long hours training with the girls, learning how to sense energy and understanding their unique abilities. The more he learned, the more he respected them. One evening, as the ship traveled through a quiet sector, Lyra and Vela shared more about their people's past. "Our ancestors believed that balance must be protected at all costs," Lyra said, softly. "The power on Elindra is like the heart of the galaxy." Vela nodded. "If it falls into the wrong hands, chaos will spread. We lost our home because the balance was broken." Jax listened carefully. He felt a deep connection to their cause. Suddenly, the ship's alarm sounded again. "Enemy ships approaching," a crew member shouted. Jax, Lyra, and Vela rushed to the control room. Outside, several sleek ships bore the Syndicate's mark. "Prepare for battle," Commander Rena ordered. The starbound cruiser moved quickly, dodging blasts of energy and returning fire. Lyra and Vela focused their powers, strengthening the ship's shields and helping the crew. Jax joined the fight, piloting a small fighter ship launched from the cruiser. He darted between enemy ships, using skill and quick thinking to outmaneuver them. The battle was fierce but short. The Syndicate ships retreated, but their threat remained. Back on the cruiser, Jax wiped sweat from his brow. "They're not giving up." Lyra looked at him with fierce determination. "Neither will we." That night, as the stars shone outside, Jack sat with the two girls, feeling a strong bond between them. "We will reach Elindra," he promised, "and protect your people's legacy." Lyra smiled, hope shining in her eyes. "Together we can." Vela nodded. "The fight is far from over, but with you, we have a chance." Jax realized then that this journey was bigger than any one person. It was a fight for balance, for hope, for the future, and no matter what came next, they would face it together. The starbound cruiser sped through space, drawing closer to the mysterious planet Elindra. Jax, Lyra, and Vela prepared for what they all knew would be the most dangerous part of their journey. The Shadow Syndicate was relentless, and the ancient power hidden on Elindra made the stakes higher than ever. In the ship's briefing room, Commander Rena gathered the crew. "We have little time. The Syndicate will arrive soon, and they will not hesitate to destroy anything in their way. We must work together to protect Elindra and its secrets." Lyra and Vela stood beside Jax, their faces calm but determined. "We know the paths to Elindra are protected by traps," Lyra said, "but we have learned the ways to navigate them. Still, the Syndicate's forces are strong," Vela added. "If they reach the power before us, it will be disaster." Jax nodded. "Then we stop them here, no matter what." The shuttle landed on Elindra's surface amid towering forests and strange glowing plants. The air was thick with energy, and the ground hummed softly beneath their feet. Lyra reached out her hand, touching the soil. "This place remembers. It will help those who protect it." Jax looked at the two girls and felt a mix of awe and respect. He had never believed in magic or miracles before, but here, something different was real. As they moved deeper into the forest, the traps began. The ground shifted beneath their feet, and strange lights flashed, trying to confuse them. Lyra and Vela led the way, using their powers to sense the safest paths. Jax followed closely, staying alert for any sign of danger. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the ground. Enemy troops had arrived. "We're surrounded," Jax shouted. The Shadow Syndicate's soldiers poured into the clearing, weapons ready, but Lyra and Vela did not hesitate. Their skin glowed with blue light as they used their powers to shield the group and push back the attackers. Jax fought bravely, firing his weapon with precision. Mika and the starbound crew joined the battle, turning the tide. The forest became a battlefield of light and energy. The Syndicate's forces were strong, but the defenders were stronger, united by a cause greater than themselves. After a long fight, the enemy retreated, leaving the group battered but alive. Lyra looked around, breathing heavily. "This was only the beginning," Vela nodded. "We must reach the power before they return." They pressed on, reaching a great ancient temple covered in vines and glowing symbols. Lyra stepped forward, placing her hands on the door. The symbols lit up and the heavy doors slowly opened. Inside, the room was filled with a soft blue light. In the center, a glowing crystal pulsed with energy, the heart of Elindra. Jax felt the power hum in his veins. Lyra and Vela approached the crystal carefully. "This is what the Syndicate wants," Lyra said softly. "This power must stay protected." Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. The Syndicate's commander, Voss, appeared, flanked by his soldiers. "It ends here," Voss said coldly. "Hand over the Valari and the crystal, or face destruction." Lyra stepped forward, her eyes blazing. "We will never surrender." A fierce battle began inside the temple. Energy clashed against weapons, light against darkness. Jax and Vela fought side by side, protecting the crystal and each other. Just when it seemed the Syndicate might win, Lyra used her full strength to unleash a burst of energy that pushed their enemies back. The crystal's light grew brighter, filling the room with warmth. Voss snarled, defeated, and ordered a retreat. The group collapsed, exhausted but victorious. Jax looked at Lyra and Vela with pride. "We did it." Lyra smiled weakly. "The power is safe." Vela added, "For now." Commander Rena approached, placing a hand on Jax's shoulder. "This victory is only the start, but together we can protect the galaxy." Jax nodded. He felt changed, no longer just a traitor, but a guardian, a friend, and a hero. As they left the temple, the crystal's light followed them, a symbol of hope and strength. Their journey was far from over, but with courage and friendship, they would face whatever came next. The battle on Alindra had ended, but Jax knew their journey was far from over. The Shadow Syndicate had been pushed back, but they were still out there, dangerous and determined. For now, the ancient power was safe, glowing quietly in the heart of the planet. But the galaxy was vast, and threats could come from anywhere. As the starbound cruiser left Alindra's orbit, Jax sat in the observation room with Lyra and Vela. The stars stretched endlessly before them, a reminder of the many worlds waiting to be explored. Lyra leaned her head against Jax's shoulder. "Thank you for standing by us." Jax smiled gently. "We're a team now. I couldn't have done this without you." Vela looked out the window, her eyes thoughtful. "We've been given a chance to protect not just our people but many others. It feels right." Jax nodded. "The galaxy needs people like us, people willing to fight for what is good." Their bond had grown strong through battles, danger, and shared hope. They were no longer just strangers brought together by chance. They were friends, and something more. The starbound crew cheered softly as the cruiser arrived at a hidden space station. It was a place of safety and new opportunities. Here, many different species worked together for peace and justice. "Commander." Rena greeted them warmly. "You've done something incredible. The galaxy will remember this day." Jax looked at Lyra and Vela. "This is just the beginning. There's so much more to do." Over the next days, the three began planning their next steps. They trained with the crew, learned more about the galaxy's politics, and prepared for new missions. Lyra's and Vela's powers grew stronger as they practiced. They also shared their knowledge with others, teaching how to protect and heal. Jax found a new purpose in guiding and supporting them. He was no longer just a trader passing through space. He was part of something bigger, a force for good. One day, as they walked through the station's gardens, Lyra asked, "What will we do next?" Jax smiled. "We'll travel the stars, help those in need, stop anyone who tries to bring harm." Vela nodded. "We have a chance to build a better future." Their eyes met, full of hope and promise. Suddenly, a message arrived from a distant planet. It was a call for help. Jax's face lit up. "Looks like our next adventure has already begun." Lyra and Vela stood beside him, ready and eager. Together they would face whatever challenges came next, with courage, friendship, and the strength of humanity, and Valari united. The galaxy was wide and full of mysteries, but they were ready. As the stars shone brightly, the three friends stepped forward into the unknown. Their journey was just beginning.